Section 1. Listening Comprehension. In this section of the test, you will have an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to understand conversations and talks in English. There are 3 parts to this section, with special directions for each part. Answer all the questions on the basis of what is stated or implied by the speakers in this test. Do not take notes or write in your test book at any time. Do not turn the pages until you are told to do so. Part A. Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between 2 people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Here is an example. On the recording, you hear,
"I don't like this painting very much."
Neither do I.
"What does the man mean?" In your test book, you read, A. He does not like the painting either. B. He does not know how to paint. C. He does not have any paintings. D. He does not know what to do. You learn from the conversation that neither the man nor the woman likes the painting. The best answer to the question, "What does the man mean?" is A. He does not like the painting either. Therefore, the correct choice is A. Go on to the next page. Now we will begin Part A with the first conversation.
Number 1.
Oh, no. Where's my wallet?
Is it in your pocket?
No, it's not.
Look under your desk.
What does the woman suggest the man do? Number 2.
Well, what do you want, Steve?
I want a salad and some fruit.
You always eat salad and fruit for lunch.
I know, but I like it.
What does the man imply? Number 3.
I hate it when people take their dogs to a park and let them make messes all over the place.
You know what bothers me? I hate it when they go out and leave their dogs at home, barking all day.
What does the man mean? Number 4.
What's wrong, Shelley?
I sent a close friend a birthday present 2 months ago, and she's never thanked me for it.
Why don't you just email her and find out?
Why didn't I think of that? I'll do it tonight.
What does the woman imply she will do? Number 5.
There's something wrong with this printer.
Really? The cartridge might have run out.
Oh yeah, that's a point. I'll have a look.
What does the woman suggest the man do? Number 6.
Designing clothes is not a man's job. Women are much more fascinated by fashion.
Not so. Many great clothing designers are men. Just look at Calvin Klein.
What does the man mean? Number 7.
You know, Anna, I think you need to join a carpool. Carpool? What's that?
It's a group of people who ride to work together in one car.
Oh, right. That's a good idea.
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 8.
How do you get to work, Greg?
Actually, I don't have a job.
Oh, then do you go to school?
Yes, I take classes downtown. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I take the bus to school.
What does the man mean? Number 9.
Well, my father wants me to be the manager.
And you don't want to?
No way. Well, I think I could be a good teacher. I like working with kids and I'm pretty patient.
That's true.
What does the woman mean? Number 10.
I'd enjoy working with animals. I think being a veterinarian would be rewarding.
I'm not so sure. Animals can be very unpredictable. Getting bitten by a dog would be scary.
What does the man mean? Number 11.
I'm working on this crossword puzzle.
What clue are you working on?
Began in 1896. It starts with an O.
It's the Olympics.
The Olympics has only been around since 1896?
Well, yes. The modern Olympics.
What does the woman mean? Number 12.
A few years ago, not many people lived here, but the population is growing so fast these days.
Yeah, it seems like there's a construction site on every corner.
What can be inferred from the conversation? Number 13.
I got into the company I auditioned for.
Really? That's fantastic. But I thought you auditioned and didn't make it.
What can be inferred from the conversation? Number 14.
What do you need for the kitchen?
Well, there's a refrigerator and a stove, but there's no microwave oven.
What does the woman imply? Number 15.
Have you ever eaten snails?
Yes, I have. I had them here just last week.
Did you like them?
Yes, I did. They were delicious. Why don't you try some?
No, I don't think so.
What does the man imply? Number 16.
I did something wrong, but I still don't know what I should have done.
What happened?
Well, my English teacher has a rule about cell phones. At the beginning of class, she always reminds us to switch them off.
I don't blame her. Cell phones shouldn't be allowed in classrooms.
What does the man mean? Number 17.
When I was a kid, I was really into books. I used to read all the time.
What kinds of books?
Well, I remember I used to read comic books a lot. and I loved reading mysteries.
What does the woman imply? Number 18.
In Italy, a friend or family member often brings a pair of white doves to the wedding. After the ceremony, the cage is opened and the doves fly into the air. The birds symbolize the couple's love and happiness.
That is romantic.
What does the woman mean? Number 19.
What are your plans for the summer, Paul?
Oh, I'd love to go and lie on a beach somewhere, but I need to save some money for school.
What will the man probably do? Number 20.
It really upsets me when store clerks are rude.
Yeah, I can't stand it when store clerks give you the hard sell and try to get you to buy something you don't really want.
What does the man mean? Number 21.
What are you doing, Steve?
I'm cooking.
Why are you cooking now? It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'm really hungry.
What are you making?
Pizza.
Pizza. Now I'm getting hungry. Let's eat.
What can be inferred from the conversation? Number 22.
I would love to fly all the time. Being a flight attendant sounds exciting.
I don't think so. Flight attendants get tired of traveling. They have to be away from their families all the time.
What does the man mean? Number 23.
Did you see what's being offered this summer? I'm thinking about registering for a class.
Yeah, I've already registered. I'm taking astronomy. Hey, why don't you join me, Sally? It'll be fun.
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 24.
Last month, I decided I wanted to take a class at the community center. I feel like I've learned how to relax by painting.
You're not bad, you know.
What can be inferred from the conversation? Number 25.
Have you planned anything for the summer, Brenda?
Yeah, I'm going to Mexico to visit my sister. She's working in Guadalajara. She says it's really interesting there, so I want to see what it's like. I'm really looking forward to it.
What does the woman mean? Number 26.
Do you live near here, Rich?
Yes, I live downtown.
Do you live alone?
No, I live with my brother. We have an apartment together.
What does the man mean? Number 27.
I can't stand it when they turn up the volume on TV commercials. They're so loud. Why do they do that?
Yeah, that is annoying. But it bothers me more when they interrupt a ball game at the most exciting moment to show some stupid commercial.
What can be inferred from the conversation? Number 28.
I love old houses. I like that they have a past, a history of every family that lived there.
But Marcia, if you buy an old house, you may have to make a lot of repairs to it.
What does the man mean? Number 29.
Where's Mike?
Mike? I don't know him.
He's my friend from school. He's a little quiet.
Oh, is he serious?
Actually, no, he's not. He's very funny.
What does the man imply? Number 30.
It seems to me that there should be a limit on the number of cars and lorries. The situation is getting out of control.
I couldn't agree more. The government should definitely do something.
What does the woman imply?
Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Now we will begin Part B with the first conversation.
Questions 31 through 35. Listen to a conversation between 2 students.
Hey, Janet. You are so lucky to be done with all of your final exams and term papers. I still have 2 more finals to take.
Really?
Yeah. So, what are you doing this summer? Anything special?
Well, actually, yeah. See, my parents have always liked taking my sister and me to different places in the United States. Places with historical significance. I guess they wanted to reinforce the stuff we learned in school about history. And so, even though we're older now, they still do it once in a while.
Oh, so where are you going this summer?
Well, this summer, it's finally going to be Gettysburg. I've always been interested in going, but I've never been there.
Finally? You haven't been there yet? I mean, Gettysburg, it's probably the most famous Civil War site in the country, and it's only a couple of hours away. You'd think it'd be one of the first places they'd have taken you. I've been there a couple of times.
Well, we were going to go about 10, no, it was exactly 10 years ago. But I don't know, something happened. I can't remember why we didn't go.
Something changed your plans?
Yeah. Don't ask me what it was, but we ended up not going anywhere that year. I hope that doesn't happen again this year. I wrote a paper about Gettysburg last semester for a history class I was taking. Well, about the political situation in the United States right after the battle at Gettysburg. So I'm eager to see the place.
Number 31. What are the students mainly discussing? Number 32. Why does the man say that the woman is lucky? Number 33. What does the man find surprising about the woman? Number 34. What can be inferred about the woman when she talks about Gettysburg? Number 35. What is the woman unable to remember? Questions 36 through 39. Listen to a conversation between two students.
Oh, Jack, I'm glad I caught you. I wanted to tell you that I'll have to skip the history study group session tonight.
Really? That's too bad. Aren't you feeling well?
Oh, it's not that. There's going to be a public meeting down at the town hall. The state senator from this area is going to be there. She has these meetings 3 or 4 times a year to speak with her constituents.
Is that what you like to do with your evenings? Go and listen to politicians?
Well, actually, it's a class assignment. Professor Jackson, he's teaching that political science seminar I'm taking. He told all of us in the seminar to go and hear what the senator has to say tonight, and also write up a report about the issues people bring up.
Oh, like medical care and taxes and...
Right. And as long as I'm there, I think I'd like to bring up government funding for state universities. The tuition keeps going up, and it's getting harder and harder for a lot of students to afford it.
Tell me about it.
Anyway, I want to do a really good job on this report. I need to get a letter of recommendation from Professor Jackson for graduate school, so I guess I better show up there tonight and see what goes on.
Yeah, but what about the history test?
Well, I've already put in some extra time on that this morning, so I think by tomorrow afternoon I'll be ready.
Number 36. Why does the man assume the woman is not feeling well? Number 37. What is the general purpose of the meeting the woman plans to attend? Number 38. What does the woman hope to discuss tonight? Number 39. What does the woman hope Professor Jackson will do for her?
This is the end of Part B. Go on to the next page. Part C. Directions. In this part of the test you will hear several short talks. After each talk you will hear some questions. The talks and the questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Here is an example. On the recording you hear, "Listen to an instructor talk to his class about a television program."
I'd like to tell you about an interesting TV program that'll be shown this coming Thursday. It'll be on from 9 to 10 p.m. on Channel 4. It's part of a series called Mysteries of Human Biology. The subject of the program is the human brain, how it functions and how it can malfunction. Topics that will be covered are dreams, memory, and depression. These topics are illustrated with outstanding computer animation that makes the explanations easy to follow. Make an effort to see this show. Since we've been studying the nervous system in class, I know you'll find it very helpful.
Now, listen to a sample question. What is the main purpose of the program? In your test book, you read A. To demonstrate the latest use of computer graphics. B. To discuss the possibility of an economic depression. C. To explain the workings of the brain. D. To dramatize a famous mystery story. The best answer to the question, "What is the main purpose of the program?" is C. To explain the workings of the brain. Therefore, the correct choice is C. Now listen to another sample question. Why does the speaker recommend watching the program? In your test book, you read A. It is required of all science majors. B. It will never be shown again. C. It can help viewers improve their memory skills. D. It will help with coursework. The best answer to the question, why does the speaker recommend watching the program, is D. It will help with coursework. Therefore, the correct choice is D. Remember, you are not allowed to take notes or write in your test book. Now we will begin Part C with the first talk.
Questions 40 through 42. Listen to part of a lecture in an engineering class.
Industrial designers are always looking for ways to keep energy from being wasted, by improving the insulation in buildings, for example. They also try to capture energy that's a byproduct of some other process, energy that might otherwise be lost, and put that energy to good use. That's why they've redesigned shock absorbers. You know, those cylinder-like devices you see in the wheel areas of a vehicle that absorb the shock when a tire drops into a hole or hits a bump? Shock absorbers compress to absorb the force of those bumps so people inside the vehicle can have a smoother ride. But until recently, the energy from that compression was just wasted. The new shock absorbers will capture that energy and use it to help power the vehicle. It's like when water from a dammed-up river turns a huge turbine to power a hydroelectric generator. In this case, though, it's the hydraulic fluid inside the shock absorber. Whenever a tire hits a bump in the road, this fluid squirts into, like a little turbine that powers a small electric generator. And the electricity that's produced gets stored in the battery for use later on, as needed. So the new shock absorbers still do their primary job of smoothing out all the bumps, but now they create electricity too. Electricity that would otherwise come from burning fuel. And reduced fuel consumption helps the vehicle owner not just save money, but also be more environmentally responsible.
Number 40. What is the talk mainly about? Number 41. What can be inferred about the new technology? Number 42. What happens to the electricity that is produced by the new device? Questions 43 through 47. Listen to a talk from a Canadian history class.
How did the Native American communities of southeastern Canada convey information to one another? In general, they used couriers who memorized oral messages. Among some Native American peoples, the Iroquois and the Algonquins, for example, messengers also used a code based on strings of beads. The beads were called wampum, and the color of the beads signified the message. For instance, white beads were used for news of peace, prosperity, or goodwill. Purple beads meant bad news. The couriers also carried messages for early European explorers. One journal from the time describes how a courier memorized 20 different detailed transactions, delivered them to Montreal, and then returned with exact replies to each. According to the journal, the courier had traveled 800 miles round trip. Sometimes the messages were written, not oral, and would be passed from one courier to another. When one messenger arrived at the edge of his tribe's territory, He would sell the letter to the next messenger, usually at a profit. If the letter passed through many hands before reaching the recipient, the final bill could be very expensive.
Number 43. What is the main topic of the talk? Number 44. What form of message does the speaker imply was most common among Native Americans of Southeast Canada? Number 45. What event would most likely have been symbolized by a purple wampum bead? Number 46. What did the journal entry describe? Number 47. According to the speaker, what would increase the cost of sending a letter? Questions 48 through 50. Listen to a talk in a biology class.
This morning, I want to tell you about a recent scientific discovery dealing with the relationship between plants and animals. This is about a desert shrub whose leaves can shoot a stream of poisonous resin a distance of 6 feet. You think it would be safe from all attacks by insects, but a recent study has found one insect, a beetle, that can chew its way past the plant's defense system by cutting the main vein that delivers the poison to the leaves. This vein cutting is just one method the beetles use to prepare a safe meal. Another is by cutting a path all the way across a leaf to halt the flow of chemicals. Then they simply eat between the veins of poison. In the past, scientists who studied insect adaptations to plant defenses have focused on chemical responses. That is, how the insects can neutralize or alter the poisonous substances plants produce. What's unique about this chewing strategy is that the beetle is actually exhibiting a behavioral response to the plant's defenses, rather than the more common chemical response. It is only after a beetle survives several encounters with a plant's resins that it learns how to avoid the poison by chewing through the resin-transporting veins on the next leaf it eats, and thus gets itself a safe meal. However, it can take a beetle an hour and a half of careful vein cutting to prepare a small leaf that takes it only a few minutes to eat. So, though the method is effective, it's not very efficient.
Number 48. What is the talk mainly about? Number 49. How can the beetles avoid being poisoned by the plant? Number 50. What does the speaker say about the beetle's strategy for leaf eating?
This is the end of Section 1.